We're living a time in the history of our civilization, in the history of this world, and the experts will tell us it's a time unlike any other in 5,000 years of human history. Never have we been faced with so many major crises that must be solved all within a very short period of time. From the collapse of the global economic system that's happening now, to the way we deal with climate change, to disappearance of resources, vital resources that must be shared between people, how we solve our problems in the Middle East and other places in the world without the use of war, and many other crises we're faced with right now. The way that we solve our problems as individuals, as communities, between nations, it's really not that much different. We tend to solve every problem in our lives through the lens that we determine describes our relationship with the world. We all have a way of looking at the world, and when we look through the lens of our experience to the world, that determines how we solve our problems. Here's why this is important. If you live in the modern world, much of our lens comes from the science of the last 150 years. New discoveries now are showing where the science of the last 150 years, in some cases, is incorrect. In some cases, the science is wrong. If we cannot incorporate the new discoveries into the way we think of ourselves and see the world, then how can we solve these problems that we're looking at today? So people ask me, Greg, the world is changing. What does it mean for our jobs? What does it mean for our careers? What's it mean for the way we deal with our families? And where do we put our passion? And how do we deal with this new world that's emerging? This is my answer to them. The false assumptions of science have led us to believe that we're separate from ourselves, powerless over our bodies, we're separate from one another, we're separate from the world around us, that civilization is linear, it's happened one time, and we're the pinnacle and most sophisticated civilization that's ever been here, and that violent competition is the way to solve our problems. Those are the old ideas, the false assumptions. Our own science is now telling us every one of those is incorrect. The new science is showing us that we are deeply connected to our own bodies, we're deeply connected to one another, we're deeply connected with the earth, that civilization is cyclic. And if we have the wisdom to recognize the cycles in the past, we can learn from that and apply what our ancestors learned to our world today. And here may be the most important of all. The best science of our time is showing us that nature is not based upon Darwin's idea of survival of the strongest. It is based upon a model that biologists call cooperation and mutual aid. Competition happens, and we've all seen it, but it happens in response to special conditions, special circumstances. It's not the rule of nature. Okay, here's why this is important. If we can embrace the new discoveries, the best science of today that tells us we're connected to ourselves, we're connected to one another, we're connected to the earth, and that we live in a world of cooperation, that changes the way we've been taught to think of ourselves in the world. So, when we ask ourselves, what do I do? What do I do in my life? How do I choose a job? How do I choose a career? The world's changing. What I used to do, I can't do anymore. What do I do now? Those are good questions. In the old way of thinking, we would ask ourselves this question. The question is, what can I get from the world that exists? Consciously or subconsciously, that becomes a part of the way we think. What can I get from the world that exists? The new discoveries of science now give us a reason to change that question. So here's the new question. Rather than saying, what can I get from the world that exists? The question now is, what can I give? What can I share? What can I contribute? What can I offer to the world that's emerging? And the way we answer that question changes everything. The way we answer that question opens the door to new possibilities, not limited to what our degree is in or what our training is in or how much money we have. It opens the door to the possibility of where our passion may lead. Because we're not saying, how can I be rewarded? We're saying, what do I have to contribute? And by virtue of that contribution, we are rewarded in life, and it happens time and time again. So I'd like to give an example. Let me give a very clear example. I live in a rural area. My wife and I live in a rural area, a farming community in northern New Mexico in the United States. The economic collapse of 2008 hit everyone very hard in our community. A friend of mine was a builder. He built homes for people. In 2008 was the first year there were no permits, 0 permits for new homes in northern New Mexico. He said, "What am I going to do?" He said, "I am a builder." He says, "I work with my hands, I build homes, I build good homes." He said, "People don't need homes now." So he asked himself the question, what can I share with the world that's emerging? What do people need? He said, people don't need homes right now because they already have them. He said that people need to learn to grow their own food. People were learning they couldn't grow food. The winters were bad. The food was priced high. He said, "I'm going to take the skills that I learned to build homes and build greenhouses, all kinds of greenhouses." He said, "I'm going to build some that are small that people can put in their kitchen on their counter. I'm going to build bigger ones that you can piece together as modules. You can have as many as you want. I'm going to build them so that people can use them 12 months out of the year. They're enclosed, no matter how hot or how cold it is." And this is precisely what he has done. And he is more successful now building greenhouses for people to help them live healthy lives than he ever was building homes. I don't know if he'll ever build a home again or not, because now this is his passion. And all he did was ask the question, what can I share with the world? How can my passion and my skills support what the world needs now? To do that, he had to let go of the idea that he was clinging to of what he had done in the past. And it's an invitation for all of us. I ask myself this question every day, at least once a day, sometimes more. What can I give in this situation? How can I contribute to this? I'm not saying what's in it for me, because what I know is that if I can share with the world around me in some way, that the world around me is now going to support what it is that I hope to achieve, and that is a community. Whether it's my family, whether it's my neighbors, whether it's between nations. Support a community where these principles are deeply ingrained and where we learn to cooperate and help one another get through one of the most difficult times in the history of the world. What can I give to the world that's emerging? That's the question.